Hey everyone, something really interesting is happening in AI right now. It's not just taking one leap forward, but two at the exact same time. It's getting way, way smarter, but it's also getting faster and cheaper to run. So today we're going to break down this dual leap and figure out what it means for, well, everything.
So let me ask you something. What if your AI assistant could react as fast as you can speak? No more of that awkward pause, just a real, flowing conversation where it responds instantly. Well, that reality, it's a lot closer than you might think.
And that kind of seamless back and forth conversation is possible for a really cool reason. AI is evolving on two different fronts at the same time. On one hand, it's becoming incredibly powerful, but on the other, it's also becoming way more practical. I'm talking cheaper and more efficient. So first up, let's dive into just how much more powerful it's getting.
All right, so let's get into this leap in capability. We're talking about moving way beyond just typing in a text prompt. We're entering a world where AI is real time, it's multisensory, and it just feels a whole lot more natural to use.
Take Google, for example. Their new model is all about making audio AI feel more natural and reliable, especially in real time. They're laser focused on crushing that latency. That little delay between when you stop talking and the AI starts? The goal is to make the whole interaction feel completely seamless. And they're not just talking a big game. Here's the proof. On a really tough audio test, a benchmark designed to trip up AI with complex sounds, this new model scored a whopping 90.8%. That is a huge jump in reliability for understanding live audio. But it's not just Google making moves here. At the same time, a company called Cohere just set a brand new standard for understanding speech. Their model now tops the leaderboard for what's called automatic speech recognition, or ASR. And get this, it does it across 14 different languages.
And this number right here, 5.42%. That's its average word error rate. And when it comes to this stuff, lower is always better. This is a record low score, which basically means it's one of the most accurate models ever built for turning our spoken words into text. Just incredibly accurate.
Okay, so AI is getting insanely good at understanding what we say. But what about generating speech? Talking back to us. Well, Mistral AI is tackling that with a new model that's making AI voices nearly instant. And just look at these capabilities. We're talking about a latency of just 70 milliseconds. That is literally faster than you can blink. It's pretty much instant. And on top of that, it can clone a voice from a tiny 3-second audio sample. That combo of raw speed and powerful features, it's a total game changer. But the biggest leap forward isn't just about making things faster. It's about a whole new concept called agentic AI. As this research paper puts it, they're trying to address a key limitation. We're moving beyond AI that just answers your questions, and agentic AI can actually do things. We're talking about multi-step tasks, like researching a topic online, summarizing what it finds, and then emailing that summary to you. It's an AI that takes action. And here's a peek at how something like that works. A model like this doesn't just say, create an image from a prompt. No, it's a whole process. First, it has to really understand the request. Then, it actively searches for information, looking at both text and images to learn. It uses all that research to ground its understanding in reality before finally creating a new informed image. It's way more like a researcher than just a simple paintbrush. Okay, so AI is getting way, way smarter. That's clear. But what's the catch? Well, all that power is pretty much useless if it's too slow or too expensive to actually run. And that brings us to the second massive trend we're seeing, this incredible drive for efficiency. So to really get this, we need to talk about a concept called sparse attention. The best way to think about it is like a student highlighting a textbook. To save energy, the AI tries to focus only on the most important words. The problem? The process of finding what's relevant can, ironically, be really slow and burn through a ton of computing power. So a bunch of researchers came up with this brilliant work smarter, not harder solution. Instead of every single layer of the AI doing its own highlighting from scratch, they have just a few full layers do all the heavy lifting to find that key info. Then most of the other shared layers, well, they just reuse those findings. They basically copy their notes. And the result is insane. A 75% drop in the computations needed for that task.
And you can see the payoff right here. This new method delivers a speed up to 1.82 times. That is a massive performance boost. And the best part is it doesn't need any new fancy hardware. It just makes these super complex models much, much faster and cheaper to run.
And this push for efficiency, it's happening everywhere. It's not just one research paper. Meta, for example, is also in on the action. They just doubled the speed of their video object tracking model through some really clever optimizations. So what does doubling the speed actually mean? Well, it gets us to 32 frames per second. Now that's kind of the magic number for smooth, real-time video. And it can do this on a single GPU, one of those powerful chips that handle graphics and AI. This makes things like live video analysis way more accessible than ever before. All right, so we've seen these two huge trends unfolding, side by side, a massive leap in what AI can do and this incredible surge in efficiency. So now, let's connect the dots and see how these two things are actually building the future of AI together. So here's the big picture of how this all fits together. On one side, you have these more capable, agentic models that can actually research things and create stuff. And on the other side, you have these efficiency breakthroughs that make all that power affordable and accessible for everyone. They're really just two sides of the same coin, pushing each other forward. And believe me, this new efficiency isn't just some academic exercise. It's not just happening in research labs. It's fueling real-world applications right now. And it's attracting some serious investment. And if you want proof, look no further than this number, $125 million. That's how much an AI note-taking app, which is moving towards this kind of agentic automation, just raised. It shows you the massive financial confidence that's building around turning these advanced, efficient AI concepts into practical tools we can all use. So after all that, what's the bigger picture here? What does this dual leap, this combination of smarter and faster AI, actually mean for you? Well, let's boil it down to the key takeaways. First, AI conversations are becoming truly real-time, no more awkward delays. Second, this agentic AI is leveling up from a simple assistant to a partner that can actually research, reason, and create on its own. And third, and maybe most importantly, all these efficiency breakthroughs are making this powerful technology cheaper and more accessible for everyone. We are really entering a new era here, an era where AI is not only incredibly intelligent, but it's also fast enough and practical enough to be used just about anywhere. And that really leaves us with just one final question to think about. Now that AI is this fast and this smart, what's the first problem you would solve with it?